Hey, I'm Josh, and I'm here with the game director of Midnight Murder Club, Eric Feurstein.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about the changes to the roadmap with 1.2 out now, and looking forward to our next patch, 1.3, that will be marking leaving early access with our full release. So we have 1.2 that is available now. And so it is a little bit different than what we thought we were going to be delivering in 1.2 back when we first released our roadmap with the release of the game. Do you want to talk about what we decided to put into 1.2?
Sure. There's a lot of changes that we originally had planned, like internally, that we didn't really tell anybody about. And most of those changes are in what kind of wild cards we were going to make. We had a plan. We had it all written out. We had it all decided. And then, and then I got sick. And I was out for a couple days, and when I came back, people were like, well, we tried something else. Do you want to see what we tried? And it was amazing. So we've got a whole bunch of brand new wildcards that are unlike anything we've done before. The most obvious one is the Flaming Skull, where you release a flaming skull that you pilot, and you fly it through the mansion, and you try to find guys, and you hit them, and you explode in fire and set them on fire, and it's hilarious. So that one wasn't necessarily planned for this update, but it just completely blew everybody away with how fun it was. That's all we wanted to do. Every time we would go in and we were trying to test something else, somebody would debug in a skull and just fly around, and we'd have the meeting as skulls. It was great. Another couple of cards that came up from brainstorming with the team during this update. One is called Gift from the Grave. And we're really excited about this one because we didn't quite know, is this going to work? Are people going to get it? And then the first play test we did, everybody loved it. And what it is when you respawn, we give you a toy, basically. And it's based on how well you're doing in the round. So if you don't have a lot of kills, then the toys that we give you are things meant to help you get into the fight and get some kills. For instance, if you have absolutely no kills and someone shoots you and you die, when you respawn, we're going to give you a bulletproof vest. If you have the most kills in the game and you get killed, when you respawn, we're not going to give you a bulletproof vest. You're a really, really good player, so you don't need a bulletproof vest. We're going to give you one of the other toys. Another big update that we did is that we made it so that the bots can play wildcards. So this goes into a whole overhaul that we've done to the UI, but the idea is that you can go in and play wildcards. The bots will choose wildcards. They'll understand what's happening, so they'll, capitalize off of a bear trap. They'll use the player pinger and then hunt you down. But also, if you don't have a full team of your friends, you can play with the bots, and they'll give you a good time.
Which works solo, too, if you want.
Yep, and it works solo as well. So you can go in as just a single player and play against 5 bots or however many people you want. So a big draw for our game is the sounds. You're hearing a gunshot from another room. You're hearing people talking. So it's really fun to play with your mic on and for other people to have their mics on. But as we know, sometimes when you're playing in public lobbies with strangers, people abuse that fun, and they'll start saying or doing things that we don't like. So another cool addition is the voice scrambler. This is an alternative to muting a player, because when you mute a player, their voice is gone now, so they're basically completely silent and they can sneak up on you. So instead, you can choose to scramble the player's voice, which will mix up their voice so you can't really hear what they're saying, but you'll still hear that they're in the mansion, so they can't sneak up on you, and you can hunt them down in the shadows. We're really excited about this, so check it out and let us know what you think.
Something that we've heard since the beginning is that people have trouble navigating the mansion, which I know is kind of the point a little bit, but in this patch we did decide to do something about that.
Yes, the point is to be lost and alone in the dark. That was the point of the game. But sometimes you're a little bit too lost and you're a little bit too alone. And what we did was, there was a compass in the bottom middle of the screen when you turn your flashlight on. We took that and we put a map of the mansion inside of it. So now when you turn your flashlight on, not only do you understand which direction you're facing, but you can see an actual outline of the room you're in with the doors highlighted. So you can turn your flashlight on, understand where you are in the mansion faster, understand where the exits are faster, and move through the shadows. I'm very excited for this because we always wanted to have a map, but it never quite worked.
In some of our early screenshots on Steam, you can actually see the icon to pull up the map, even though we never showed a screenshot of the map.
It used to be a clipboard with a light on it, so you'd like be looking at it, and you'd walk into a room and see someone looking at the map. Nobody used it, nobody liked it, but this is a much better solution, and we think it's really going to help people who aren't as confident in the shadows as, say, I am, as the person who, designed the entire mansion and knows his way around it. And speaking of moving around the mansion, we added death pins. So what these are, you're walking around, you're in the shadows, someone shoots you, you respawn in a different room. You do not remember what room you were just in, and you don't know how to get back there to get revenge. So what some people were doing when we played is they were, right before they died, they'd ping, and their ping would stick around for like 30 seconds. We're like, well, if people are doing that, we should just have the game do it for you. So now every time you die, we leave a little ping behind to show you this is where you died, this is where the enemy was who just got you, and you can track that in the dark. You don't have to turn your flashlight on to see it. You can track it in the dark to get you back to the room that you were in. And so this should help people, again, who are not super confident in the shadows and to move through the mansion faster. We've been reading the forums, we've been talking to people on our Discord, and we've been looking at the data that we have, and Wildcards is the game mode that people love the most. So we made Wildcards kind of the default game mode of Midnight Murder Club. You can still play all the other game modes. The main menu got a complete overhaul. It's a lot prettier now, and it's a lot more easy to navigate.
So what this does mean is the PvE mode that we thought we were going to be delivering for 1.2 has actually been shifted to 1.3.
Right.
And we did kind of play with a little bit of PvE with the Headhunters mode versus bots, but do you want to talk about kind of what is being developed for that PvE mode coming in the next patch?
Sure. First, on the Headhunters game mode, yes, we had that versus bots, but it was kind of buried. We didn't really highlight it, and that's what we're hoping also with this new UI layout, is that it'll highlight it a bit more so people can play it and give us some feedback on what they like or dislike about playing against bots, so that we can work that into the brand new game mode that we're working on for 1.3, which I think I've talked about it before, but the main idea behind it is it's you and one friend, or solo. You can play it solo, you can play it with a friend, against the mansion, against the demons in the dark. So there are going to be artifacts that you have to find. When you enter the mansion for the first time, one of the vaults will open, and it will ask you for, it won't ask you, it'll demand one of those artifacts. So then you have to go into the mansion and try to find it. And all these artifacts are covered in gold, so you'll be able to find them. And when you find one, you have to get back to the vault and put it in there, and that will advance to the next round. But while you're doing that, there are things in the dark trying to stop you. And the longer it takes you to get those artifacts and bring them back to the vault, the more difficult that's going to get, the more they're going to hunt you. So it is a race against time, as well as a bit of a memory game, because you don't need all these artifacts, but you'll walk into a room and you'll see one and be like, great, that one is in the kitchen. I must remember that next time it asks. So me and you, Josh, are playing, and you're like, I'll remember everything in the top floor, and you remember everything in the first floor. And then it'll be probably a lot of us arguing because we didn't remember because we were being chased at the time. So this is a brand new game mode, and we haven't made anything like this yet for Midnight Murder Club, and we're really looking for people's feedback. So if you're interested, go to the Discord and sign up for the community playtests, where you'll get to play early versions of this game mode and give us feedback.
So something that has come up a lot since the game came out is key remapping.
Yes.
And is there a final word on that?
Yes, there is a final word on that. We're going to do it. The reason it took so long is because we had to update our engine to allow us to do it, and that's finally happened. So now we are going to implement it for a coming update. I'm sorry.
Nice. So with coming out of early access soon, looking back on the last couple months, last 6 months or so, what is it like for you as the director of this game?
It's really weird. I think that's what I answered when you asked what is it like to be, launched in early access. But it continues to be weird. But it's really fun to show people all of our ideas, even when they're in the beginning stages and not fully finished, because that's just the perfect time to get feedback from it. And people who have come in the Discord to tell us their experiences, people who have joined the community play sessions and played our very early buggy versions, and then, accepted and understood that when you play something early like that, they realize it's going to have issues. And what I really love is them playing, and then the next time they play, we fix those issues, and now they're like, oh, wow, look, it's so much different now.
There's something really interesting with talking about being this level of transparent, where peeling back the curtain of us recording these kinds of conversations, sometimes you will ask me, can I say that?
Yes.
And I don't think I've ever said no. I'm always like, yeah, say that. Good. It's good to just be fully transparent about what we're doing here.
Yeah, it just shows how, we are learning, I'm still learning that, especially when you work on a game in private and then you release it, you've been talking about the game for so long, and then finally you can start talking about it. There's still a barrier that you need to remove in your own brain. Be like, yes, I can say that again.
It's a fun ride. It's just really fun to be part of this process and trying something new and doing something we've never done.
Yeah, it's, always be learning, and I'm learning a lot right now.
Yeah. Thanks, Eric.
No worries. Thank you, Josh.